Okay. So here's the deal. When we look at an angle in a right triangle, there is an opposite side, an adjacent side, and a hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always going to be the hypotenuse. But if we're talking about adjacent, Augie, whose room is adjacent to mine?
I don't know that teacher's name.
Miss Polinsky. Okay, Miss Polinsky is adjacent to me.
Skinny whiteboard marker.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be
For my next class.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I was trying not to be this way.
You know what? It's totally fine.
Miss, we don't know what adjacent means. We were all thinking Miss Ripple.
Where's adjacent?
Okay. If this is my angle, are we in agreement that this is the hypotenuse?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So in agreement.
Which side is adjacent to my angle? The one over here or down here?
The hypotenuse.
The one down there with the small angle.
Adjacent is touching the angle, and opposite is not.
Oh. Then what's the hypotenuse?
I think we all know what the hypotenuse is.
Essentially, I would try to pick half the class out because we would go, oh, too much last year.
Okay. Okay. The sine ratio. So we say sine, but it gets abbreviated SIN. Do not call it sin. It is sine. It's just abbreviated SIN for your calculator. Yes.
It's pretty short.
It can only be 3 letters for the calculator. I don't know. Okay? The sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay? So what I want you to write down here is that we are going to take the opposite side over the hypotenuse for our ratio. Opposite over hypotenuse is our sine ratio. Okay? So I want you to look. If I'm talking about angle A right here, which side is opposite?
Side A.
And what side is hypotenuse? So our sine ratio would be side A over side C, opposite over hypotenuse.
This is confusing. All trigonometry can be like
Okay. Now, if I'm talking about angle B, which side is opposite now? Okay. So our sine ratio is B over C if we're talking about angle B. Okay? So the ratio is going to be dependent on which angle we're looking at. Okay?
I don't get it.
Okay. Now, our next ratio is called cosine. So there's sine and cosine. We abbreviate it COS. Do not call it cos or cos. Cosine is its name. Okay? And the cosine ratio is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So I want you to write adjacent over hypotenuse. I'm just going to have you be patient, okay? Okay, so if I look at angle A right here, which side is adjacent to angle A? Okay. So if I'm going to write the cosine ratio of angle A, we would write side B over side C, adjacent over hypotenuse. You don't get it?
No, I do get it.
Oh. Okay. But now if I look at angle B, which side is adjacent to angle B? Okay. So this ratio would be A over C, adjacent over hypotenuse.
So cosine equals sine?
No, that is not it. Okay.
Doesn't BC equal BC? AC equal AC. That's not how it works.
Okay. Now, our third ratio is the tangent. We abbreviate it TAN. Do not call it tan. It is tangent. Okay. And the tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent. So we're going to write opposite over adjacent.
Oh, that's why we just did that one thing.
Oh, it is why we did that one thing. Okay.
Still one thing.
Our intro. Okay.
I'm so tired.
So, if I look at angle A, you told me A was opposite and B was adjacent. So our tangent ratio for angle A would be side A over side B because we're talking about opposite over adjacent. Okay. If I'm looking at angle B, A is our adjacent side and B is our opposite side. So the tangent of B would be B over A. Hey, now some of you are a little bit worried. How am I going to keep this all straight? Which side goes where? I have something that honestly every teacher uses this phrase. There are some things that I say that maybe other teachers won't use that particular saying or method to help you remember, but every teacher uses this. Are you ready? Yeah. SOHCAHTOA. Write it down. I'll tell you what it means. SOHCAHTOA. Write it down, and then you're going to look at me, and I'm going to describe it. Okay.
Oh, because Toa means tangent, and then it's opposite.
Just sine is, hey, look. Otherwise, this isn't going to make sense. Everyone look at me. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. SOHCAHTOA.
SOHCAHTOA, bro. SOHCAHTOA.
SOHCAHTOA. So this is what I want you to do. Could you please, in number 1, give me the sine, cosine, and tangent ratio for angle A? No, just write the fraction. Just write the fraction.
With the numbers or what?
With the numbers. With the numbers.
So each one 5 divided by
Like,
what the actual.
leave it as a simplified fraction. Just do what I asked.
Oh. That's my bad, miss.
Which side is the hypotenuse?
The 13.
Which side is opposite?
5.
And adjacent. So I just put an O and an A and an H to help me out. So our sine ratio, Avery, what is it? Opposite over hypotenuse, 5 over 13. Cole, what's our cosine ratio?
12 over 13.
Adjacent over hypotenuse, 12 over 13. Our tangent ratio, Chase.
I believe in you, Chase.
5 over 12, opposite over adjacent. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase my A and my O, and I'm going to go ahead and focus on angle C. Well, now my opposite is 12 and my adjacent is 5. So the sine ratio for C is 12 over 13. My cosine ratio for C is 5 over 13. What about our tangent ratio? 12 over 5. What? Hey, now. Oh no. What happens in number 2?
You don't have the.
Really? You have to make it.
Okay. Pythagorean theorem. Let's see who can get it for me.
I got 144. No, it's 80. It's 80. It's 80.
15.
It's 15.
So 9 squared plus 12 squared equals our hypotenuse squared. Our hypotenuse is 15. Okay, quiet. If I want my sine ratio for W, what would it be? 12 over 15, but I would not be okay with you leaving it like that. I would expect you to simplify it to 4 over 5. Okay? Our cosine ratio for W would be, which would be 3 over 5. Okay? Our tangent ratio would be 12 over 9, which you would reduce to
4 over 3.
Okay. So I will expect reduced fractions when we do that. Okay?
No mixed numbers.
No mixed numbers, and do radicals belong in the denominator?
No.
Never. All right. So now, here comes the fun part. Here's where we need our calculators. So the first thing I need you to do on your calculator is, after you turn it on, do you see where, Lucas, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to point at this thing behind you. Okay, right here, it needs to say DEG, DEG, for degrees. Does it say DEG right here? On your, yours is a different, let me see your calculator. Yep, you're good. You have a D for degree. Okay. Anybody not have DEG for degree? Go to mode. Go to mode. And is degree highlighted? No, it's not. So arrow down. Yep. Nope, nope, up, over. Hit enter. Okay.
I have grad.
Ooh, that's not good.
What is radian? What is that?
Something you'll learn about next year. Okay. So we are all in degree mode. Okay. If I want you to look at number 1. If I am going to find side X, I have this 28 degree angle right here. 19 is the hypotenuse, and our mystery number X is the opposite side. Ooh, what do you think could help me?
So you take the sine of 28, and then you set that equal to 19. No wait.
X over 19?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take the sine of 28 and set it equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. Because it's not next to the angle?
It's like the cross.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
did you send 28?
What'd you say?
How do you set it up?
Okay, if I want to get x by itself, how do I get rid of that 19? Okay, so we're going to multiply both sides by 19. And so in your calculator, you're going to type in this right here, 19 times the sine of 28. And we're going to round to the nearest tenth. If you're not using your calculator with me, 1 decimal place. Okay. Okay. So, let's talk about number 2. Okay. If I'm going to solve for x, Alex S., which one of the 3 is going to help us? Sine, cosine, or tangent? So this is our hypotenuse, this is our opposite, and this is our adjacent. So do you see how we have opposite and adjacent? So we need TOA. The tangent of 41 degrees is opposite over adjacent. Are we okay with that? Yeah. Okay, so to undo this 32, we're going to need to multiply both sides by 32.
It's 21.
Okay, so 32.
27.
How do we get the angle?
27.8. That's what I like to hear.
Wait, what? I got 24. Oh, yeah, I put sine on that. Oh, I put sine.
So, since this side is the opposite side to 41, and this side is the adjacent, O and A, we need tangent. Okay? Okay. Hey, guys. And we're back together. Hey. Okay. Quietly, can you try number 3?
Wait, that's oh. Okay, you moved it.
So how would you do this if you had slopes instead of like lengths? Because you said you could do this if you with slopes, like of slopes of the sides. Because that would give you angles. That would also give you like the position of.
You would have to have the lengths, but you could use the slope to find the length. You see what I'm saying? But yeah. You would have to make a right triangle though.
Yeah.
Without
See, look, he's got
I'm trying to think of the context of when you asked me that problem.
adjacent over hypotenuse.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Think of like a situation.
No, you do 26 times cosine of
Avery, did you say my name? Okay, here we go. The cosine of 21 degrees is x over 26. So I'm seeing people get x equals 24.3. Okay. Avery is really worried because I'm not letting you take these calculators home. Okay. But I think that the best online calculator is the Desmos Scientific Calculator. And what I'll do is I'll put a link when I post in Google Classroom. Okay. And it's really easy. Just make sure you're in degrees. It's going to look just like your calculator. Okay.
If you take your iPhone and flip it to the...
Okay, your iPhone also has it. I think most phones do. The trick is just like...
Flip it on its side.
Can you just let me finish? The trick is sometimes it doesn't like ask you to type it in the same order as this one. So if you want to mimic this calculator, I'll put the link to the Desmos calculator for you. Okay? Now...
Or you could look up Desmos online and choose the scientific calculator.
Yes, you could. Okay. Now, I want you to look at number 5 because number 5 is going to be solved just a little bit differently. Which pieces are labeled in number 5?
The opposite and the hypotenuse.
And if we have opposite and hypotenuse, which trig function are we using?
Sine.
Sine.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Sin.
we know that the sine of 33 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse.
Yes.
Okay. So we cannot solve this by multiplying over 15. Which number's in the denominator? So we first need to get x over to the other side. So we have x times the sine of 33 equals 15. How do we get x by itself? I'm going to let you try that again. We are going to divide the sine of 33. So in your calculator, you're putting 15 divided by the sine of 33.
So you have to like multiply.
What?
We're trying to eliminate...
What do you mean forget about it?
Make it into like...
X is your answer. Like what do you want your answer to be?
You're finding x.
Avery, I'm not sure what your question is.
Yeah, my brother said that this is...
I'm like, so, what if it does the same thing as dividing both sides by 15? 15 divided by...
Would it?
I don't know.
Okay. Here's the deal. I know a lot of you are like, why can't we divide by 15? Well, we can, but if we divide by 15, we have 1 over x. I don't want 1 over x. I want x. So first we have to undo the fraction, and then we can do the division. Okay? Avery, did your question get answered? Okay. So, set up and get an answer for number 6. We still have over 2 minutes. You're not going to start your homework, so let's make sure we can get number 6 on our own. I'll tell you. Okay. You are really annoying me right now. Can you turn that to the next page so I can see it?
What's the homework? Stop asking her. She said she'll tell us herself. I'm sorry.
All right. Eyes up here. We have the hypotenuse and we have the adjacent. So did you use cosine?
Yes.
Cosine of 43 is 36 over x. So when we take 36 divided by the cosine of 43, did you get 49.2? Okay, so please mark for yourself that our homework is pages 18 and 19 from this packet.